18 मिनट, सिर्फ 18 मिनट है मेरे पास, शायद मेरे जिंदगी के सबसे खास 18 मिनट. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that we ask not what the country can do for us, but instead ask what we can do for our country. And I have a dream where we live in a place where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, for combining all these great speeches, poetry and some Bollywood dialogues. I'll give you some context here because I think that's important. So my name is Divyanshu Damani. I'm a social media influencer and a keynote speaker, and I have a following of around 200,000 people online, and I've spoken to almost 20,000 people offline over the past year and a half. And it's important for me to tell you how the journey started. So I started about a year and a half back, and I started creating content online about anything that I wanted to share with the audience. So I called up my friend, say, hey, come over, I want to create a video. And that's how the journey started. I was just me talking to the camera and sharing my thoughts, very candid thoughts. Slowly I started receiving some recognition for the content I was creating, and people started messaging me. They told me that how the content was impacting their life, how they were able to take better decisions, and how probably it was allowing them to change their lives as well. In the beginning, I was a bit of a cynic. I thought, how can the content change their life so much that they actually come out and message me about it? So I said, probably they like the content, it's great, I'll continue doing it. But with more content I created, with more offline engagements I went to, and with more people I spoke with that were actually influenced by the content I was creating, I thought, baat isse thodi badi hai. Because there's something happening here which I was probably not aware of. Because one random guy sitting in one random part of the world and just using a medium which was social media that was open to everyone and sharing his thoughts was impacting in such a way I needed to know more. So I started to introspect, and I found the answer. The answer was very, very simple. It was this force of nature that I had this very, very special ability. It was so special that everyone in this room and even people watching online have that ability. Let me tell you the secret. The secret is nothing but the power of words. Words can act as a bullet or act as a seed. Words have been used to wage wars by dictators or to even feed a hungry child who is starving. Words can take a man who is at the lowest in his life and make a star out of him, or take someone from the top and bring them down to the trenches. That's the power of words. You might be thinking, yeah, Divyanshu, that's fine. We know it, that's the power of words. But I have a question. You must be thinking that. And great question, audience. I have a question. How do you actually tap into this power that you actually have? There are three parts to it. Words can change me, words can change you, and words can change the world. It's simple, me, you, and the world. Very simple, very clear. Now how can words change me? Let's do this small incident. Let me show you a small incident, all right? There are two friends. One friend walks up to the other friend and he says, hey man, how's it going? And the other friend replies, ठीक है यार, सब सही है, चल रहा है. Normal, casual conversation. Not a Netflix web series. That's scene one, cut. Second scene, the person comes in again, hey man, how's it going? This time the person replies, hey man, it's going great, life is awesome, it's pretty beautiful. That's it. He replies that. This might seem a little lame, but what I'm trying to talk about is this concept called transformational vocabulary. It's not a concept created by me, it's created by this individual, Tony Robbins, who's a life coach and entrepreneur. And he says that if you're conscious of the words that you're using every single day, and you condition yourself to use the words and amplify the positive words and reduce the negative words, then it will improve the quality of your life. So when I'm saying, life to chal raha hai yaar, it's okay, for a very common question that's always asked to me by every single person, and instead if I say life is beautiful, life is great, it's having a very subtle effect on your mind in the longer run. He goes on to say that instead of using a word like I'm feeling depressed, if you use something like, I'm feeling low today, or instead using like, if I meet someone today and I say, it's very nice to meet you, if I say, I am so thrilled to meet you, you will automatically feel thrilled. And you can condition yourself to do these things automatically. And this is how my words can change me. But even your words can change me, isn't it? Let me share a small story here. This story is about King Shalya. Anyone heard of King Shalya? Show of hands. King Shalya was in the Mahabharata, and he was one of the stronger emperors who wanted to fight from the Pandava side. However, he was somehow tricked to fight from the Kaurava side, and he was made to become the charioteer of Karna, who was one of the stronger warriors from the Kaurava side. Now, King Shalya, since he relented the thought of fighting from the Kaurava side, he started demoralizing Karna while being his charioteer. He told him, you won't be able to win the war. Look at Arjun's strength. Arjun was a direct competitor. These are your weaknesses. Tere se nahi ho paega. He constantly demoralized and demotivated Karna. And instead, on the other hand, Arjun's charioteer was none other than Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna constantly inspired Arjun to do more, told him what are the things he should do, and he was a guide and a mentoring force. One of the major reasons why Karna went on to lose the battle against Arjun was because of King Shalya, because of the words that King Shalya was using around him. The question right now that I have for all of you is, who's your charioteer, and what are the words are they using? And your charioteer are your friends, your family, and the relatives that you move around with. If the words that they are using are like Lord Krishna, that are inspiring you to do more, that are inspiring you to create more, be more innovative in your life, then that's awesome. But if your charioteer is using words like that of King Shalya, then it's time to change the charioteer. And that's how, ladies and gentlemen, words can change me, including my words changing me and your words changing me. But words can change you as well. The TED platform is one of the best examples of word changing you. I mentioned some of the inspiring speeches by people like John F. Kennedy, even people like Abraham Lincoln, Rabindranath Tagore. All of these people had mastered the art of using their words to positively influence people. And it makes me think of Steve Jobs. It makes me think of Jobs because Steve Jobs created this reality distortion field, which is a term coined by Bud Tribble, who was working with Steve Jobs at Apple at the moment. So Bud Tribble said that even if you did not believe in Steve's vision, even if you did not believe what Steve could offer to the world, when you were with Steve personally, he could actually hypnotize you with his language, with his belief in himself, and with his passion, that you were actually went into this reality distortion field. And he said, yeah, Steve, I think that is possible. I think that could be done. What's the reality distortion field that you are creating for others around you? And how are you positively influencing them in your lives? Another quick examples of words changing you. I did this short video. I just wanted to do this social experiment when I was out. How do people react when you go out there and greet them? Just ask them, from your Uber driver to the person who serves you at the restaurant to a random stranger on the street. How do people react when you go out there and greet them? So I went out there, I greeted people, I asked, "Kaise ho bhaiya? Sab badhiya? Sab sahi hai?" And instantly, every single person had a smile on their face, because we often don't ask people how they're doing. So if you just go out there and do that, you're instantly creating such a strong connection with so many people out there. It's just a thought that you need to keep in your head. And that's how my words can change you. The third part, words can change the world. And you'll be saying, hey, Divyanshu, leave that to the politicians, leave that to the business leaders. At least my words right now, it can't change the world. Let me counter that thought. Last year, I created this one video, or rather this one video was going viral on social media. It was called the Kamlesh Solution video. It was about this young kid who was under the influence of drugs, and he was being interviewed, and some of his answers were apparently funny to some people, and they created memes out of it. and created funny video compilations which were going viral all over the internet. The sad truth was that amongst all these memes, amongst all these virality, the hard truth of the kid being under the influence of drugs and a lost life was absolutely camouflaged. I created a video then talking about how insensitive it was to create memes on such a topic. Instantly the video caught fire and people shared it all across, and it reached 4 million views overnight. But the more important point was, I saw the conversation across the country changing. I was just a random guy sitting in a random corner of my house, and I just wanted to share my thoughts on something going viral across social media, and that changed the conversation around an entire country. And I'm not saying this because of the numbers or the metrics. I'm saying this because a lot of people called me up and they said that in my office or in my workplace, people were making fun of this kid. But after seeing the video, they were actually able to change or stop other people from making fun. The point, ladies and gentlemen, when I say words can change the world, I mean, and if you said that 10 years back words can change the world, I would feel you're a cynic. That's fine. But if today I mean words can change the world, I mean your words can change the world. With the platform that social media gives you, even if you've got 1,000 friends with you right now, that means you're influencing 1,000 people. Whatever you write, whatever value you provide in the little ways, whatever opinion you put out, you're influencing them, and slowly, you're changing the world. So use this opportunity that you've got. That's what I mean. Words can change me, you, and the world. So the point, what's the point of all this? The point is, if I were to give you the nuclear codes, what were you to do with it? You would not play a game of snake along with it, right? You would be very careful with it because they're a weapon. Words are a similar weapon, and any weapon contains power. I like to quote my favorite quote out there, and it was said by Uncle Ben to Peter Parker in the movie Spider-Man: with great power comes great responsibility. And that's what you need to take care of. So use words that inspires people instead of words that tires people. Use words that creates rather than words that destroy. Use words that say more that we can instead of words that we can't. Use words that fuels you up rather than words that dispirits you. Use words carefully. And to conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I'll just say, I have a dream that more people will inspire more people will create more people will do more in all thought, action, and definitely word. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.